Are you tired of spending endless hours crafting the perfect articles? AI has transformed the landscape of article writing with its ability to analyze data and form patterns. AI can generate articles on a wide range of topics. Additionally, can gather and process amounts of information within seconds, providing writers with valuable insight and resources.
Thank you, Dr. Huda, for the introduction. Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm gonna try to do my best to see how can I stimulate you, motivate you about this interesting topic. I didn't come here today to sell any product. I would like to emphasize no financial interest at all, just academic interest. So keep your phones ready. You're gonna finish working hard with your finger about this interesting topic. This is the idea. The idea is try to motivate you, to stimulate you, to induce more curiosity that usually you have to do research, but the most important part, great research. Many of us have been involved in research and our papers are in the desktop. So it's feasible, it's possible, and you can do it. You could say that 25, 30 years of evolution is nothing for us. But the way that we were doing research in the past and the way that the research is doing now is totally different. I'm going to ask you something. How many of you have visited the library of KKESH? How many of you have been looking for a specific journal in the hallway of KKESH? How many of you have been looking for a specific journal in the hallway of KKESH? Well, that was the way that we were using and doing research in the past. Let me tell you a story about my country. You had to schedule the library from 8 to 5 to 5. No? Second, you need to use something that is called this one. I don't know if you heard about this. Have you heard about that? You know, those, Dr. Nowilati, Dr. Rashid, they are looking at us like a rare people. So the card catalog, we should check it, then go to the librarian, then pray that nobody else took the journal, or when you took the journal in my country, you opened the journal and the page was stolen. Yes or no? I mean, this is the reality. Now, for you guys, it's something that no makes sense. In 1993, I was resident, and I decided to develop the web page of my hospital. The designing a web page is 5 minutes today. At that moment was something that you need to have WASTA to have connection with the special, was dedicated connection. So no makes sense. So we are experimenting a huge revolution. The revolution that comes from that point to the point that we are today with the appearance of the AI. Now we are facing new situations. We are living a revolution today. Like when the fire appeared in the history, when the Industrial Revolution, when the print appeared, when the internet appeared. Now we're facing a data era. Who deal with the data, deal with the power. Look at Google, look at Apple. Data companies, look at the wellness of these people. And now, when we combine data with AI, it's a powerful, wonderful, but you see in the world, people could say dangerous combination. I don't believe that. So we are facing a revolution, definitely. And we need to have ethical tools to face this situation. We need to approach to all these things with ethics. I'm going to show you an example about this situation. This is ChatGPT, and I'm gonna do science. I'm gonna write a paper. I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna do it fast. Because other thing that I observe as a generation is that the new generations, they don't believe in the effort. They want the immediate reward. Immediate reward. If it's not immediate reward, doesn't work. We are coming from a generation that if you do the effort, you will succeed. Okay? So let me show you this one to see if you are happy with the immediate reward. Well, this is a prompt. You know that ChatGPT works with prompts, no? We are going to ask to ChatGPT, I want that you do for me. Watch it. For the new generations. Deadline tomorrow. This is what the people is expecting about artificial intelligence. Magical. You see, and you read it, you say, wow, how amazing. Do you consider this approach ethical or unethical? I don't want to answer. It's a question that I'm throwing to all of you. Is ethical? I'm cheating or not? So, ChatGPT is a tool that appears to help us, to assist us, to facilitate our life, to reduce the time, to make our lives easier, not to do our job. Because if not, we could be doing cheat GPT. This is for your reflection. The way that we are doing research now is totally different and changed forever. Forever. For example, what is the typical way to do research? Find a resident, they are going to collect data, bring me the data, analyze the data, and we present something. This changed forever. With the modern machine learning models, with artificial intelligence, the way that we're going to retrieve, search for the data changed forever. And who manages this one is going to manage the knowledge. It's going to manage the power. KKESH. We're in Saudi Arabia. Rich oil country. Less than Venezuela, but you already take the oil out. We don't. This hospital is plenty in our servers of a huge data. It's gold. And this can bring a lot of benefits to our society in terms of knowledge, in terms of advance for the science, and if you want to see it in another ways, in terms of business also. So we are seated in our servers about this one. So think about it. Try to show you some apps to explain about everything during 45 minutes is impossible. Just to throw you ideas about some applications, and then I'm going to try to give you the tools to build a scientific paper draft. Let's start with this roadmap. I'm going to start with Reference Manager. Reference Manager, not because this is artificial intelligence or no. I realized that how many of you use reference managers? Okay, I'm going to start with this one because I consider that one of the things that we face, the problems that we face is that we don't pay attention to the reference manager. And probably it's the most important application that we need to have in our computers. How many of you knows Mendeley? A lot. Wonderful tool. How many of you know EndNote? Wonderful. How many of you know Zotero? Great. So let's see Mendeley. Mendeley is a wonderful tool, excellent tool, designed as a reference manager, but the main characteristic of Mendeley is not that one, it's this one. It allows us to find data set. This is the biggest data set repository. Most important application beyond of reference manager is that the Mendeley allow us to upload. Day by day, the journals are requesting, okay, what is your data set? We can use this one as a repository. So we can put our data there, and people can do it, check it, and do more research with this one. EndNote, nice. You can picture that. This one. This is my favorite one. And why? Because it's not just a reference manager. Zotero is free. It's open source software. Download it and you can attach it to your Word document. It's compatible with many of the new AI applications. So you can use this as your center to put your papers. I'm going to ask you something. How many of you search for paper, have you PDF, and suddenly you say, where's my PDF about retinal detachment and glaucoma? In which file? Where I left it? Yes or no? I mean, it's common that we download it and we throw it. When we come 1 month later, we don't know where the paper is. So Zotero, one of the advantages it has is that allow us to have all the information in one site. That's important, to keep the order. This is an example of Zotero. This is my Zotero, my personal Zotero. You have to the left, you can create libraries. For example, in this case, I'm clicking here in the DS. You can directly from the desktop, you can drop the PDF there. You can also, here, you can add it, put in the DOI. There are many ways to how to fit it. If the paper, for example, is open access, has PDF, you have the PDF here. The other things that allow us to make notes. I'm coming from the edge of the highlighter. Highlighter. You know what is a highlighter? So you can grab these notes, put it in Zotero. In Zotero, I recommend you to write the notes. I'm reading a paper and I see something that caught my attention, write it. And write it in Arabic if you want. Write it in your language. Write it comfortable. Write it. What is important, highlight it? Well, because all these notes later can be exported and can be sent together to the Word. And with a special artificial software, all these words, without not make any sense, this application can give coherence, formality, readability. So your ideas now are organized. Okay, this is one of the multiple applications. So this is the one. Please, I invite you to search about this application, and I promise that you are going to, once you move here, and listen, if I put the titles, I have all my purposes in one place. So I recommend it. You can download it, you have the QR code. You have a desktop application that goes with the Chrome, and you can download one that goes in the. Let's suppose that it's an open access paper. We can ask to the library. Library is here in the ground floor at the end. We can request to the authors. Usually authors are available to the paper. And you have this QR code, and I want to talk about this one, but please have it. Got it. Smart people. Let's go with the next step. Let's go with the research question. I want to do our research, doctor. I want to do my thesis. I want to do the research. What is your research question? What? Yes, what is your research question? What are you talking about? This is the most important part of the study, the research question. And we underestimate that. You know, Dr. Javier was telling me these days, sometimes we face in the road of the research that sometimes the resident, the fellow, my attitude is for my first and my last paper. I mean, the road is just one paper in my life and that's it. No? So no, this is important. We need to clarify the things. I mean, we need to start with the research question. It's boring. Are we lazy? I don't think that it's a matter of boring or laziness. I think it's a matter that sometimes we are not focused in the research question, in the what do we want. And second, because we are in the information era, this information become an infoxication. We get infoxicated with information, huge information. And this sometimes takes us to procrastinations. I'm a procrastinator. I am. I start searching about retinal detachment and retinal detachment in children. Children live in Africa. Africa is a continent in the south. In the south there. So at the end, I'm finishing talking about reading about chess. So could happen to us could happen to us because we want information. So again, research question, keep it focused. These are the characteristics of a research question. It's funny when the people comes and say, well, I want to do a research. I want to describe the incidence of strabismus in KKESH. You need to fill these criteria. Should be important, should be original, should be innovative, should be feasible, should have consequences. So if it doesn't have, I'm sorry, this is not a good research question. I'm sorry, this is not a good paper. I want to describe how is my experience with the phaco with my left hand. Fill the criteria, okay? Fill the criteria. The QR code is going to take you to this. I'm not going to enter in details of what are the characteristics of a research question, but focus on that. Again, I want to describe how many patients attend to the clinic. That's important when you're doing epidemiological studies, descriptive studies, but we can do more. We can receive more from you guys, more than description. Description is important when the data is not existing in other places, okay? So focus in this. A research question should have two things: relation between exposure, intervention, and outcomes and results. Every time, keep this in your mind, here and here, this with this with this. Again, insisting, this relation, this way, this is the way that you should think in research question. Two things, three things, but comparing, measuring associations. Measuring associations. Not like my experience waking up early morning to listen to Dr. Sesma in his boring lectures. No, it's not about this. It goes beyond. The purpose of the research question is filling gaps. We have a lot of gaps. You can download here to find what is a gap. Statisticians, they talk us about gap, and we say, oh, yeah, this is boring, boring. Give me the p-value and get out of here. No, this is our approach. And it's not correct. That this is the most important. We need to fill a gap. And they go together. And sometimes in our life, the research question comes first, but sometimes the gap comes first. So we are capable to find gaps or to find research questions. After we have this one, we have a name. Where we can find gaps in our clinical life. One important source is in the papers, go to the limitations part. Limitations parts, they are going to give us directly gaps. A small sample size, retrospective study, population study. So this is a source of gap. If, let's suppose that it's a small sample size, well, I have data with bigger sample size. This could be a research question. Get my point? Other sources, this one. When I'm reading a paper, and you see why, how, when, where, means critically reading. Critically reading. I don't know what happens to you. Every time that I start reading a paper, I don't know, 30 questions comes to my mind. How will they do it? Wow. So this approach is important. And let me stop with this in a moment. How many times we are in our clinic, in surgery, seeing patients, doing surgery, and many questions comes to our mind. Have you faced this before? And every moment, yes or no? When you are in the clinic, how many times have you seen me take the note? Grab the phone, take the notepad, write these things, go home, check it later, and going to the sources, after you checking, if you find the answer, you learn. But I'm sure that looking for this one, new questions are going to come to your mind. And probably the gap that is now at this moment appearing to you is a knowledge gap in yourself. No knowledge gap in the literature. Knowledge gap in yourself. So you solve it. But if you don't find the answer, this is a research question. Check the variables and you're going to see, and you're going to get surprised. Here, this auditorium is plenty of clever people. So I'm sure that you are capable to create research questions. Believe me, with your doubt, with your things. Believe me. Let's start. Well, okay, I couldn't do it in that way. This is one of the first AI applications, Scholar AI. And Scholar AI, allows me put a topic. I'm going to put the example. We are going to work with a paper that we already published that was measuring relation between the perforation during the deep sclerectomy and the IOP in patients with congenital glaucoma. So I wrote this prompt. No? And let me tell you something. The speed that we are moving is so fast. I was preparing the lecture, and 7 days ago, this application now is integrated to ChatGPT. When it was in a web page, now it's in ChatGPT. So the things are moving so fast. I put it this prompt. And it creates this answer. This is my research question. Okay? So if I don't find other ways, this is one way, Scholar AI. Other application that can help us is this one, Elicit. You can go for it, and you can ask research questions, and it's going to provide you wonderful research questions. The format of a research question is this one. And that's important that you keep it in your mind. This is the way that we are going to ask a correct research question. This format, I brought it from Harvard 2 years ago. When we were in COVID, we had the opportunity to run a program. Dr. Maha Lenasi from Kingston University joined us. And this is a formula that they gave us. This is the format. This is the style if we're doing descriptive studies. So do it like this. You can create the question like this. Or if we are doing analytic studies, this is the format that all the research questions have. First thing, research question. I'm going to grab this research question, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to open a Word document, and I'm going to put it there to use it later. Copy and paste there in Word document, okay? The way that we are going to analyze the data is based in Karl Popper mentality. The way that the inferential statistics works is like this. Forget about in my data, 3 guys were male and 2 female. When doing inferential statistics, we need to approach to these things. And the main concept as a summary of how the science works is this one. Sometimes we cannot demonstrate anything, but sometimes like this one. How you declare? Not guilty. Your Honor. You heard that. People say, I'm innocent. No. So sometimes you cannot demonstrate the innocence, but you can demonstrate that you are not guilty. So get with this point as the way that the science works. Immediately that we have the research question, we move to the next step, because the science works like the previous slide. I need to create an hypothesis. And this is a hypothesis that I created based in that paper. 2 parts, null hypothesis and alternative positive. What is null hypothesis? There is no difference, null difference between these 2 variables. Alternative positive, yes, there are difference between and this and this. And in this hypothesis, you can see this is higher, this is lower, this is bigger, this is smaller. Doesn't matter. This is a way that we put the things in Word, copy that hypothesis and keep it in this document, because you are going to use it later. Let's start with the research strategy. I was talking with, I don't know how many papers you read. We are doing a research, and he said, but doctor, I already read like 300 papers. No? Sometimes we spend or we waste time, and if you are a procrastinator, more. But the traditional way, how we do it? Usually we go to these sources. Yes or no? Probably there are others. I'm just mentioning this one. So the thinking of this and the presentation of these sources is linear. You write, you prompt words, keywords, and Google, Scholar, PubMed throw you. But the answer is like this, linear. Terrible. Because sometimes we're here and we get lost in the third and the fourth. Very well. We have complementary tools that can help us to approach to this one. You have this one that is called Research Rabbit. Please QR code it. You have lead maps. We have consensus. We have SciSpace. We have Site. Let's start doing the classical way. Let's go to PubMed. I think that PubMed, Google Scholar, Scopus, private database, probably the best. but you have to pay. Well, Scopus, 3 days ago, put it his own Scopus AI application, using all these tools, but with them. So things are changing. So, but let's go to PubMed. PubMed, okay? In the PubMed, we search deep sclerectomy perforation after that. We write the prompts, that is here, and the PubMed bring me. Have you seen anything different than the classical? Look at the PubMed, huh? The classical one. Have you seen anything different in this page? First thing that you see here is this thing, never has been before. The other thing that you see differently is this one, site. So all these applications can be plugged in with the Chrome or with application, no? Okay. Let's suppose the first thing that the most basic command that we're going to do is, let's write to this paper, if I agree, to send it to Sotero. How I'm going to send all the papers that I read to Sotero? No. Concentrate in the title of the papers, and it goes with your research question. It goes with the research question, read the abstract, it goes, and then you send it. The way to send it usually is this one. See here, I have the plugin, send to Sotero. And immediately when you go to Sotero, it's going to send this paper. You see here this one, no? It's telling me, okay, where do you want to send it? Okay, I'm going to send it to this, okay? And that's it. Let me go to Sotero, that I have it open here. Suddenly, it's going to appear, and it's going to retrieve all the articles that were in that page. All of them. And it's going to ask me, do you want to bring all these articles? So you say, okay, yes, click, yes. So immediately all the papers are there to check it later, to analyze later. The other thing, you see here, Cite. Cite is one of the most wonderful apps that can help you. When we cite, when we use citations, most of the people that is not involved in the scientific field use the citation like at the last part of the paper. Let me put this name here, this name here, this name here, and this name here, and kalas. Because usually it's the last part that we do it. And it's not like this. So we have an advantage that we need in our papers should have in our references high relevance paper. High relevance papers. How do you know that a paper is relevant? Well, you could see number of citations, you could see who's the author, is a famous person, you could see where this is published, how many times has been supported this paper by these authors, how many times has been contrasted, no, I'm against of these results, you show it here, and factors that can tell me this is a relevance. But one of the most important part is the citation. So cite is an application that tells me how many times has been cited this paper, you show it here, and I can go there. If I do click, I can go there and I can see, I can read these references. I can check this reference. If this information is valuable for me, what I'm going to do, I'm going to export it to Sotero. Okay? So that's important. Give me good references. Also, Cite allows me to do search. Probably it's the highest level of evidence application compared with the other ones. So this is in the case of Cite. But here you have this one that is called SciSpace. It's attached. So let's see in SciSpace, for example, let me ask here this one. Related papers with this one. It's showing me these papers. So we need to fill all this information with all these places and put it in the Sotero. Let's see, for example, this is the SciSpace. SciSpace is a pretty nice application that show me these things. And for example, explain me the paper. If I don't want to read all the paper, if I want to facilitate my time on the paper, it's summarized. So I can copy this paper and I can send it. I can send it to Sotero. Okay? And other things. This is how the Sotero works. SciSpace. okay, let's suppose that we search this and we have the list and we fill it, that part of PubMed. Let's go to this application. It's called Research Rabbit. I'm gonna ask for the same question, and I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna paste this question in Research Rabbit. I already create, it's a way that you create the application, and when you go here, here, when you go here, it's showing to you all the papers that are they bring, yeah, just hold on because the connection, okay. These are the papers. So I can see this paper is similar to SciSpace to explain me the paper, relative papers here, but the most amazing part of this one is this one. Show me, remember that I told you linear approach. Look at this one, it's showing to me the papers with the name. I can do zoom in. This one pane. Okay? Obeidan. When people talk about congenital glaucoma in Saudi Arabia, this is the name. This is the brand, no? we should move. It's not Pepsi Cola, it's Coca-Cola. So we can do it, no? But this, look at the network. How it show you the connection. So you watching this one easily can see, okay, you have this paper, not this paper. Okay? You can also, this one can be exported to Zotero, but also can be bring it from Zotero to here. So you can do the analysis here, and the things that you're saving, you send it to Zotero. Clear? Very good. So go back to Zotero. Keep it, stick to the research question. Don't procrastinate. Let's go now, let's enter. We already have all the body of information, all the body with this strategy. SciSpace, Elicit, Consensus. I filled my Zotero, I have all the information. Write all the notes as much as you can. Let me tell you something, the notes that you write in Zotero, these notes, you can write it in Arabic. Write it, feel comfortable. Listen, I saw this one. There is a new application that can grab all these notes and create a template with coherence, with style. So that's important. So your notes are important because this is your input, this is the adding the value. These are many of the applications. I'm not going to enter in each one of them. Please capture it. You can play with them. Jenny, for example, write for you. We have Bart, Claude. Some of them has advantages, other disadvantages. I'm not going to enter in this, but we could be discussing 3 days about this one. But they are nice. ChatGPT, for example, the free version of ChatGPT is updated until 2021. The last update of ChatGPT 4, the last version, the paid version, that is $20 a month, is updated until April 2023. So let's talk about ChatGPT. No, because preference. I use all of them, but just focusing to avoid infoxication. This is important. This is like Facebook. I'm in Facebook. I'm posting my picture, no? Or Instagram, I'm posting. You know that you are giving as a gift your images, your data to someone, in this case, Mark Zuckerberg, to make him rich? We lost the privacy. We lost the confidentiality. So we should be very careful when the things that we are uploading to the artificial intelligence, especially if we are talking about patients, about numbers, because we are giving this to them, and there is no regulation. So let's use ChatGPT. But you know, ChatGPT is like a kid. Need to learn. Have you tried to retrieve some papers from ChatGPT and has hallucinations? You know, it creates, please write a summary of the relation between deep sclerectomy and perforation. And it say, Dr. Donald Trump published a paper. You say, Donald Trump is not, no? So create hallucinations. The later versions are improving this situation and with other tools. So we need to train and the way to train, please copy this QR code because this is the way that we are going to train it. This is the way that the things that I wrote it to ChatGPT. No? ChatGPT today, the last version, you can create your own version. It's personalized. You have the generic one, but in the paid version, you can create yours. So what we need to train is, so Lucy, I say, listen, I'm a scientist, I'm a PhD. And you need to put it like this, not because I'm lying. I'm lying, but it's the idea is that you are saying, and this one, you are my assistant. You are going to do this. You are not going to create false, you're not going to give me false references. So you need to give these instructions before working with this, specifically in scientific data. And when we have this one, let's enter. Definitely. You see, when you see the ChatGPT, ChatGPT has many versions. This is the paid version. You see here, you click here, ChatGPT 4, but you could have ChatGPT. So I'm working with ChatGPT 4. But ChatGPT 4 is generic. No prompts. I'm going to put, you see, remember when I told you consensus, elicit, SciSpace, all these plugins are new. ChatGPT opened the Apple Store, well, they opened the ChatGPT store, and now you go in here can find new application, new things. I'm talking about 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago. So look at now SciSpace, look at Scholar AI. So probably in the future, we are not going to be jumping from one side. So probably from here, we can do everything. It's just to open your mind. It's a revolution. A revolution. So let's focus in the training. So I go down. I'm going to put here Gorka Sesma. This is mine, personalized. It's charging this one. I'm going to enter here in Gorka Sesma here. I do click. I'm going to edit. Okay? And I'm going to configure here. Look at this one. Remember the prompt that I gave you? You paste it here. You can put anything that you want. In this case, I put it that I was doing a paper about deep sclerectomy and perforation, but you can put anything. And the other advantage is, remember Zotero. So I grab all this PDF, and I'm going to upload it here. I'm going to upload it here. You see here? I uploaded some of few of them, but you can upload all these papers, and this is going to give you the framework of the study that you want to do. You are not telling ChatGPT, go everywhere, don't cite me Donald Trump. This one. That's important. So we are personalizing our things, okay? That's really, really, really one of the best. One of the disadvantages is that you need to upload it by 10 PDF. Later, no, you can try later. ChatGPT is unstable. Sometimes it's given to you and suddenly get frozen, like many of you during the exams in the study commission. Frozen like the movie. Okay? So that's clear, that part, no? Look at this one. You see? Google Scholar. So my invitation is that, you can pay this $20 or it's a good investment. It's going to help you a lot. Especially this version that you have a Scholar, academic paper, data analysis. You can do it. So let's go to our work. All of you know about this one. According to my research question, I need to, it's a clinical research and I need to do something. I need the cooperation of the biostatisticians, the research department, to tell me what is the best way to answer this question. It's a case report, it's a case control, it's a randomized, whatever. I'm not going to enter this one, but this is the framework of work. And this is an important page. What is the importance of this page? That you can find the format here. For example here, no? What are the things that any paper related to, for example, cohort studies, could be a case control, but it is a cohort study. So it's giving to me this structure. It's the guidelines, it's a consensus, scientific consensus about this one. So I can copy this one because it is gonna be the framework that I have, the ingredients that I have to build to cook my research, okay? So keep it, save it in another place. That's important. So here, based on that, I wrote this prompt. Create me a outline. And when it create, I'm not going to be, here's the outline. I prompt this one, and he returned this one. You see? Here it is. Write this one with the straw, blah, blah, blah. So our goal to do the paper is filling all these items one by one. This is the concept. Okay? Not like the first slide. Remember, do this for me. No, it's this one. Okay? So after we do this one, sorry with this one. We can, you see, I need to fill all this part. Fill it takes time. My suggestion, start with the methods. It's the easiest part. Don't start with introduction, don't start with the conclusion. Methods. I have a research question, how I'm gonna solve this question. Where it's gonna be included, how are we gonna demonstrate. All these questions that are in the straw format. Remember this one? You need to define children under 2 years, underwent for congenital, primary congenital glaucoma, under surgery, okay? Then, I need to use the sample size calculator. Careful with this one, careful with this. Yesterday I was making an exercise. Please make the size sample calculation. And you know, I want to show you something that was funny, you know, because sometimes we believe because I have a tie and I'm a serious person, and not necessarily it's like this. Let me show you this one. I asked them, listen, I want to calculate for my research question. I told him, listen, you know, I need this one. Can you know sample size, 2 cohort, and look at the answer. It's like the people that, when you say, wow, mashallah, wow. No. And at the end, the answer was that I need to do this study. Look at this one, 1,000 for a huge number. When I run the EpiInfo, any of the software that is used was given to me 21 patients, 35, and look at this one. So careful. I think that this is coming and improving, but careful with the sample size with an AI. Careful. Look at this. But because look at this, they're pretending. No, according to the formula. No. I'm going to say the word that I'm thinking. Just hold on. Wow. So we need to include this one in the description. This is the way that we are going to choose which type of study. That's why Javier, Dr. Ahmed, the research department are to help us to design which one is better, how we are going to do it. I'm going to stop in here. This is the template that you're going to copy. When you start to writing, have this one. Because it's going to give you clues that when we want to translate the methods in something, copy this one. You have the QR code, you can, let's go to the results. Look at this one. When we do our research, the results, the tables should be in our mind just before starting. I saw people that surf in the data set looking to see what can I find. No, I want to demonstrate that it's a relation between the IOP and the perforation. So I'm gonna prepare my strategy with this one, period. So, but look at this one. So I prepare the tables in advance. Remember, no more than 4 or 5 tables. Most of the journals are limiting the numbers. But you prepare your table. I have my table in my hand, one demographic, one regression, one, I don't know, Kaplan Meier, whatever. And I do it. I use the software, I use SPSS, Stata, whatever. But look at this one. So ChatGPT allows me to, you see this table, one of the tables that I saw, no? Well, I could say, could you please describe, interpret, and explain the following table? Remember the table I showed you? I pasted this one. These are others. But this one. This, because I repeated, okay, table 1. This is the thing that I write. And he write here the answer. Easily, I can copy this one because these are the results. I can combine table with written things, but also because I told him, explain and interpret, this goes for the discussion. So I can copy these pieces and take it later for the discussion. Nice. Usually, I attach a graph, you see? And it's showing to me this one. I copy this one. And this one is going to be results and it's going to be interpretation. Look at this one. Interpret a Kaplan Meier. Let me tell you something, you know, Kaplan Meier and result. Okay? I try to do it in the opposite, trying to build a Kaplan Meier from here, and it just worked twice in my life, but works. So I give the variables correctly defined, and it can build it. But careful, no? That's one of the things regarding the results. Clear? The conclusions. This should be the characteristic of a conclusion, the elements that should be included there. Then, when we finish the conclusions, we write the introduction. And the introduction should answer these questions. And you have prompts there that can help you. How many paragraphs, how many lines, how many things. At the end, you ensemble of this conclusion, introduction, discussion, and say, can you create a concise academic title with less than 20 words? It's going to give you the options at the end. Okay? And at the end, write me an abstract, concise, with these elements, blah, 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 and it's going to give it to you. You see, this is the prompt that I was showing to you. They are already in the QR code, they are. It's giving to you tools to. Don't be perfectionist, because the perfectionism is right beside today. Disaster. Very good. Work. Don't stop in every phrase. Work, flow, flow, flow. Again, you can write in Arabic. Doesn't matter. Then you can translate it. At the end, we edit the paper. And I'm finishing. To edit the paper, you have all these tools. I'm going to tell you that PaperPal probably is the best. Probably is the best. It's paid, but it's good. Because Grammarly are more generic. So, the way that this works is like this. So, I'm going to open this one. So, I have the paper. You see, I have all the tools. So let me open PaperPal. It's going to check, you know, the grammar, the things. But with this one, I can, for example, I choose here a paragraph. And then I can go here, Copilot, and I can say paraphrase, trim, do it academic, for example. And this is not gonna, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna do plagiarism, no, that I'm gonna steal the thing and I'm gonna, no, but you see, if I accept goes, this is an example of this one. We have other ones, you can use them. But I like this one. You know what happened here? This is I don't know the pointer. disappear. He's here. Conrad, when you have clinic, check. Okay, so added cite, and cite. Recently, the president of Harvard was accused and had to resign because of plagiarism. And you know, the reason of the was accused about plagiarism was because he mentioned in a paper the name of one researcher, and he put, the paper was published in 2022, and he put it 2021. He was accused, and he had to resign. So we need to respect the citation, we need to do it correctly, and that's why Sotero can help us for that. At the end, when we finish all these things, we can say, aha, I use AI, but how can you detect me, no? So we have software that can help us to avoid the plagiarism and the detector. For example, this is Winston, it's paid, but it's pretty nice, because at the beginning, don't believe that 99% I reach it easily. And the beginning was 99% of AI, no? So you need to learn how to, it suggests you how to change. There are other ones that we use it in the hospital, like Authenticate, turn it in, but they are paid. They pay you per word. But it's okay. If you're going to use it once, it can allow you, because if you have high levels of plagiarism, the journal is going to reject you. Okay? Post-editing service is something that, depending how you feel, but works. Please picture this one. And then when you go home, you can play with this one. You can get crazy about the thing. So the idea is that we, in KKESH, we improve our quality of papers and we improve our quantity of papers. It's for helping us, the AI. My question now, are you stimulated? You see that it's feasible? You see that it's possible? And I would like to thank all these people that are here that helped me, enlightened me with their ideas. You can visit, for example, their Twitter, and you can see how active is these people. Without them, was not possible. I have just Dr. Alenasi with us that helped me with the ideas, with the papers, and I really appreciate her help. If you need more clarifications, I'm ready to help you and support you. This is my conclusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. You know that artificial intelligence affects our life every day, and it's bring both benefits and risk. And as you mentioned, we need to make sure, and I'm sure a lot of the audience that would like to make sure about this point, which is the ethical issues of the AI. Especially the misuse of the private data. Can you please describe the key ethical issues related to the use of the AI with this mobile application?
Thank you, Dr. Huda. Yes, I think that the world is facing something that is passing so fast. So I think that legally the framework is not already created. We're going to have a regulation, something. But I think it's a personal decision. You know, now in the Davos forum, the power entities that made there, they were scared about the AI. So probably they could lose the control. I don't know what is related, but they have many implications. So my suggestion for all of us is we need to do an ethical approach, not just to the AI, just to the life. For example, I was discussing with Dr. Semi recently, he said me, you know, there is a journal that is called Curious, and was acquired by a bigger journal. More than 40 papers went retrieved from Saudi Arabia because plagiarism, because fake authors. So it's about us. It's not about regulations or ethical. So my suggestion is keep ethical, and these are tools. They are not going to do our job.
Okay. Thank you. My second question is about the possibility of improving the quality of the papers, research paper, and to increase the number of research paper at KKESH. What is your thought about it?
I think this was a pretension. You know, my idea with the lecture today is not transform you in an expert. Doing a paper is hard, it's difficult, it's a process, but it's still giving you some tools. I think that one mention about the possibility of creation of research questions by yourself probably is the most important tool to motivate you, because many fellows are doing the paper because it's a requirement for the Saudi Commission. Also the residents, I need a major and a minor, and we do anything. And I think if you by yourself in your practice you find a question that could be a gap in your knowledge, this is the door for doing something that has higher quality and quantity. The other thing is we need to start to changing our approach about this is my research, I don't want to tell to anybody, don't tell to anybody. When day by day the multi-center studies has more presence, you see the journals, the tendencies to have more multi-centers. So we need to open our doors. When we have data set, you see the Mendeley, you could do research from there. No, I'm not going to show my data, it's a secret. So if we protect the confidentiality of the patient, this could be a secondary source of research, and we can increase the experience beyond of my experience with my left hand doing phaco in the room 1. And this is something that we need to improve.
Yeah, thank you. We can open the floor for questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sesma. That was really a pleasure to watch and listen to. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Maha Al-Anazi. I'm an assistant professor at the Physiology Department in College of Medicine, King Saud University. And I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Sesma on research papers. You did not only present AI tools, you also explained very beautifully the way a scientific mind should work. So thank you for that. And my question, I'd like your opinion on, I may have my own, but I'd like your opinion on, do you think these AI tools would be best beneficial to the beginner researcher versus the experienced one? So where do you stand there?
Thank you, Dr. Maha, for your question. A paper, part of the research and a paper manuscript writing process require a team. Need mentorship, need people that is around you to helping you, giving you ideas. For example, what's funny, because you could think that in 45 minutes, in 1 hour, you write a paper. And for example, Dr. Sharhel, Dr. Jedan knows that we wrote this paper like in 6 months, 7 months. No? I mean, this is the reality. So I don't think it's related with experience. I think it's related with the way that we approach. Of course, if you have the experience of someone who has a lot of papers and experience, that's a value, okay? My motivation was focused basically in the residents and the fellows to motivate them not as the next generation, as the present, as the reality that they are.
If you allow me, I'm not going to ask you a question. Congratulations. I was expecting something like this from you, by the way. Know you so many years. The thing is, when you ask about improving the quality of the papers, I think that we should pass one thing, which is the requirement of that paper research. I think that, as you well said, you were working 6 months for a research paper, but when someone needs a research for applying for a residency program or a fellowship and is in a rush, rarely a research will come out good out of that. And I think that what you just present and what Dr. mentioned perfectly, the question is very important, and we have to leave a legacy out of that research. It's not anything that we do for just for complement or for having something else that will improve our appliance. I think that we have to improve our quality of research more than the amount of research. That will be, for me, the first step that we have. Again, congratulations, Gorka.
Thank you, Dr. Sharhel. You know, I agree with the quality. Quality as a first choice. I agree, totally agree. But with these tools, probably also, because the time is going to be a variable that we can short with these tools, we could increase also the quantity.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Dr. Sesma, for a very stimulating talk. And I have had the pleasure of being your chat GPT for a long time before these were, because you always prompted us with these questions before prompting the ChatGPT. One of the slides you showed was about the people like Bilal Mushtaq and other people, and they're regularly suggesting new tools and on Twitter. And I would recommend if that slide is being photographed by every resident and each one of us, and follow them on Twitter. So it's really good. One of the tools you mentioned is Kite, and that's really good. At least it tells you not to cite retracted papers. People continue to cite even retracted papers without paying attention on to what to cite and what not to cite. One of the problems I faced with the Grammarly and some, for example, ProWrite tools, is they make your computer so slow, and you really need to struggle to, so you have to switch them off. So it is like AI is, all these tools are like a new excellent vehicle, a car, but you still have to drive it safe, taking into account the originality, because most of the journals are now using originality tools also to detect the percentage of originality. So thank you very much, and thanks again.
Thank you, Dr. Kabir.
Any other? We have here one question.
Hi, Doctor. Thank you. What about data analysis? Is there any tool that use AI in data analysis that help us in data analysis?
You know, nice question. I've been trying, you know, how can we kill SPSS and R and Stata, no? But until the moment, has a lot of failure. You see, just a simple question like a sample size, no? But I'm sure that in a short period of time, we're going to have tools that are going to facilitate the way that we analyze data. Now we're using the classical ones, you know, Stata, R, SPSS, but I'm sure, I tried. Let me tell you something. Last week appeared one that is called data analysis. I didn't have time to see it and to play with her to say if the things are, the question in this moment is that it's not accurate, and you should be careful, and this is but I'm sure that soon this is going to be possible, especially with huge amount of data.
Dr. Sesma, I have concern regarding when you discuss the results. For example, if we have a research and we use our results, it will be used again, this ChatGPT, and before publication. You mentioned something like this, because when you use your results, it might be saved in this.
That's important regarding confidentiality. You know, we throw data to the cloud that once you throw it, it's not anymore yours. I mean, they say no, we treat it, but it's not anymore yours. You know, my father-in-law says, you know, one thing is that you thinking stupidities, but writing them. So we need to be careful with this, because it's not confidential, especially if we are dealing with sensible data. My daughter, for example, works for a multinational company in US, and they don't allow them to use ChatGPT because they manage delicate data. So we need to be, that's pretty important. It's like a Facebook. People show things like, I'm sure, like, listen, you are showing your life. They are tracking you. They are knowing everything you. So I think, well, if the majority of the people is stupid, this is a problem, no? But again, in science, we need to take care of this one, because we are discussing the rights and of a patient or someone that is not us.
And one of the applications that you share with us, we know ChatGPT. The other application, which one you use it and you recommend apart from?
No, that's why I throw you the list. No, at the beginning I got shocked with the amount and I get a little bit lost. That the idea was trying to provide you a roadmap. My suggestion is keeping this roadmap search with the applications that I gave you, and then you choose your own, depending how you feel.
Do you have any other questions?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you.